Welcome to HBA 400, the Principles of Public Health Management. This week, we'll focus on managing work teams and learning the theories of motivation. To achieve this week's learning objectives, we will cover 2 chapters from the Kepler's textbook. Chapter 9 focuses on managing work teams. It will introduce you to key principles of managing team. This will be helpful as you work on your case studies. Chapter 11 gives you an introduction to several different theories of motivation. There is not one correct theory. All of these theories are applicable based on your team dynamic, the situation, and the structural organization of your agency. All of these tools will be at your fingertips when you are in the workforce. When you're managing a team, leading a team, or trying to motivate a team member, review these tools that you will learn from these 2 chapters. It will come in handy. In Chapter 9, you will learn the difference between groups and teams, the importance of managing workplace teams and enhancing their effectiveness. There are advantages and disadvantages of using teams. And there are different types of workplace teams. There's a stage of team development that's important for you to understand. So as a manager, you understand which aspects of the stages your team is developing. There are 5 components of designing successful teams. As you're working on your case studies, you may want to take special notes on these. You will be introduced to 2 kinds of conflicts and their definitions. As a manager, it is important for you to identify what type of conflicts is occurring at the situation and that you can manage your team effectively while dealing with these conflicts. In Chapter 11, you'll focus on the importance of motivation in organizations. You identify the different types of motivational theories and approaches. Once you have an understanding of these different theories and approaches, you can then use these methods to enhance motivation in your organization. Work teams have become common in many contemporary organizations. There are benefits to work teams. There's increased communication, as an opportunity to create new ideas, innovative ideas. There's a sense of energy and synergy, and it can improve effectiveness, efficiency, and organization performance. Sometimes you may hear the word work teams and work group interchangeable. However, in most organization structures, they define work groups and work teams differently. A work team is a group of individuals possessing complementary talents and are joined together to pursue a common objective or goal. Remember those SMART goals? A work group is sometimes comprised of individuals operating toward a common goal with little or no collaboration between group members. As you notice in our case study team assignments, I emphasize on the word teams because the purpose of teamwork or work teams is to have each individual in your team to complement each other's talents, skills, and interests to work toward a same goal, which is accomplishing the case study. What are the advantages of work teams? From an organizational perspective, the advantages are there's an opportunity for shared ideas and innovation, an increased speed and efficiency in the product, increased customer satisfaction, better product and service quality, and overall employee job satisfaction. From the employee's perspective, the advantage are there's an improved office relationship, the development of abilities and knowledge through sharing of work, a feeling of connectivity between employees, and increased job satisfaction. However, there are some disadvantages of work teams. First, There's a sense of social loafing. Team members who do not perform their share of work and allow others to do most of the work. Oftentimes, you see these individuals have drifted apart from the group, or maybe there's not an opportunity for the individual to participate, so then they isolate themselves. Second is groupthink, is where there's a desire for harmony and conformity in the group, which may result in an illogical, irrational, and unscientific decision-making. So this is often called peer pressure, where one individual may feel the inability to share their thoughts or opinions openly because they feel that they may disagree with the overall majority of the group. Even though that there are these disadvantages of work team, as a manager, you will identify these symptoms ahead of time so that you can reduce these disadvantages. For example, there are 3 ways of reducing social loafing. They're called the 3 C's of motivation to reduce social loafing. First is collaboration, is to involve all team members in the decision making. Second is content. Give meaning to the involvement so that each individual feels that their contribution is significant and is equal. Third is choice. Create the opportunity to have input into the involvement. The other disadvantage to work teams is groupthink. This is where there's a high cohesiveness among the group members' way of thinking. However, when the group is too conformative toward one idea, it may lead to a lost opportunity to have new, fresh ideas from individual contributions. The symptoms of groupthink is first, type 1, which is an overestimation of the group. Second is type 2, closed-mindedness. And third is the pressure toward uniformity. As a manager, by identifying these symptoms ahead of time, you can prevent group thinking as a disadvantage to work teams. You can reduce group thinking by assigning roles of a critical evaluator to each team. Allow each member to speak freely and express objections and doubts. The leader should not express opinions or preferences when assigning group tasks. The leader should remove themselves from most group meetings to avoid influencing the outcome. Organizations should set up multiple independent groups who work on the same tasks to give each other accountability. Examine each effective alternative. Discuss the group ideas with people outside of the group. Invite one or more outside experts into meetings to facilitate discussion and challenge the members' view. And assign the role of devil's advocate to one member per meeting to discuss assumptions and plan. These are ways that a manager can reduce groupthink and to foster collaboration as a work team. There are 5 components to design an effective work team. First is team norms. Second is team cohesiveness. Third is team roles. Fourth is team size. And 5 is group diversity. Team norms is the informal standard that regulates team behaviors and allows members to function effectively. For example, when I assigned each of the members into a specific team, I had the teams talk about what are some of your interests, introduce yourself, assign roles, who's the team leader, who's the team monitor, who's the writer, who will keep each other accountable. These are the standards that your team informally decide on. Team cohesiveness is where each members are attracted to a team and motivated to stay a part of the team. This promotes a cooperative behavior, increased team performance to achieve the goal, better communication between members, and a shared accountability to achieve the goal. Team roles. As teams, it's important to define roles and expectations. There are functional roles and non-functional roles. As the team size increases, the need to differentiate between the role of individual increases so that you can keep accountable to each member's role and task. The size of the team can impact the level of participation. Team diversity gives a significant uniqueness of the personalities of the team. Now that you understand the differences between a work team and a work group and the 5 components that makes a work team successful, let's discuss the phases of team development. Bruce Tuckman defined the phases of team development into 5 specific stages. First is forming, then storming, then norming, 4th, performing, and 5 is adjourning. We'll discuss briefly each of these stages. In the first stage of forming a team, it is called forming. This is the meet and greet stage. Members apply and try to avoid conflict. They form initial impressions, gather information, and assess group fit. The team leader should facilitate the meet and greet, allow time to get to know one another, set early ground rules, and open discussion on the team structure. In the second stage, storming, this is when disagreement on conflicts may arise. The level of comfort in expression increases. Team members become assertive and willing to state opinions. The team will be ineffective if it does not resolve the present issues and move to the next phase. The team leader should ensure differences are channeled in a productive way, foster an environment of professionalism, and drive the focus toward the team goal and performance. In the third stage, norming, this is where establishment and acceptance of the team roles and structures occur. Team members learn to work together productively after working through the issues. From stage 2, which is storming, team members settle into their roles as they decide goals and objectives. Team leaders should ensure participation and engagement is high. Team norms are positive and performance-oriented. In the fourth stage, performing, the team is an effective, efficient, fully functional team. Brainstorming and ideas are now debated instead of a personal agenda. There's high cohesiveness. The team leader should ensure there's positivity remains high. Teams has access to all resources, information, and material. The last stage is adjourning. After the completion of the task and project, reviewing of the success and failure, the team leader should conduct an evaluation, help the team celebrate their success, identify the strength to retain, explore possible improvement for the future, and help the team transition to the next assignment. Now that you define the 5 stages of group development, now that you define the stages of team development, what are stages of decline? In the denorming, you will see that the team performance has declined and there's caused a shift to the team, changing in the size, scope, or the goals. Destorming is where there's a decrease in group cohesiveness. The comfort level is weakened and the group resists conforming to the team norm. In deforming, this is often characterized by the team members' isolation. Members battle to gain control as the team falls apart. Team members may try to avoid one another and isolate themselves from the leader. Team performance decline. As a manager, it is important that you identify conflicts ahead of time so that you can try to resolve before the problem escalates. There are 2 primary types of conflict. First is the cognitive conflict, the C-type conflicts. This is very task-oriented. It is associated with issues in regards to schedule, resources, and the work itself. It can lead to negotiation, creative decision-making, and improved team performance. So I would say this type of conflict is actually good. It can lead to something positive. There's a willingness to resolve the issue with the goal of identifying alternatives and finding the best solution. It can even help group to reduce the risk of group thinking. The second type of team conflict is the affective conflict, the A-type conflict. This is often result as an emotional conflict. It focuses on personal difference and disputes rather than professional reasons. It can decrease team members' satisfaction, commitment, and performance to achieve the goal. Team members may hold grudges and may become apathetic when disagreement occurs. As a team leader, you can identify what type of conflict is occurring and to seek resolution based on the type of conflict.